All right, now we're doing 7-cube frequency sequence. This is by bit fragment, and 93% of people like it. So our task is to return an output string that translates an input string S by replacing each character in S with a number representing the number of times that character occurs in S and separating each number with the sep characters. Okay, so basically like H only occurs once, E once, L 1, 2, 3 times again, 2 times for O because of this, and then space, and then W, and then O again, and then R, L 3 times, and then 1, and then separated by this. Okay, and then same thing for the other two. All right, so for this one, we're going to do a double for loop. Let's start off by declaring a variable for result that we're going to put all this stuff into. So we're going to say let result equal that, an empty string. And then we're going to say for let I equal 0 while I is less than str.length. We're going to say I++. All right. And then for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little count for each one of these. So we're going to get to this one, and then we're going to count. We're going to go through and count how many times it happens through str. So we'll get to the H, go all the way through, count it up. It's just one, and it'll just leave it there. E, it'll count them all up, leave it there. This L will go through, it'll count from here to all the way to the end, and you'll see there's 3, and then it'll go to this L, count all the way to the end, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to say let count equals 0, all right? That way we have something to put this in. And then we're going to do another for loop and say for let j equal 0 while j is less than str.length. We're going to say j++, all right? Iterate through for the second time. And then we're going to say if str at I equals str at j, what we're going to do is say count plus plus. And then down here, we're going to say result plus equals, and then we're going to put the count number. And this is for each one of these. So we're going to go through and put the count number for this one, for this one, for this one, for this one, for this one. So we're going to say count plus, and then we're also going to say sep, whatever the separator is as well. All right, so let's do a console.log result to check what we got so far. Test it out. And see, right now we've got pretty much it, except for we have this one at the end. So to take this one off, we're just going to use this slice method, which returns a shallow copy of a portion of an array into a new array object selected from start to end, where end is not included, and then start and end represent the index of the items in that array. So we're going to go from 0 from this one to right before the end. So let's say this is the hyphen. We want to take this one out, so we're going to say from 0 to whatever dot length. In this case, it would be animals dot length minus 1, and it'll take this one out of there. So let's go over here, and we're going to say results dot slice from 0 to result dot length minus 1. All right, let's test that out, and it looks fine. All right, so let's take care of this console.log and say return, and then at the end get rid of this one, and then test it out. Looks good. Attempt it, and it looks good. All right, but we can also do this with the methods and with try to get this in a much more concise syntax, because that is a lot of typing. All right, although it is easy to understand as well. So we could say right here const frecsec equals this, and then we're going to go down here and turn this into an arrow, and then we'll just say console.log right here so that we can test it while we go. All right, so let's start off by saying str, and then what we want to do is first we want to get this and put each one of these characters in its own element. So we're going to do that by using this spread syntax. Because we're going to do this, we're going to put this right like that. And we're going to make an array literal. And the spread syntax allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in places where 0 more arguments or elements for array literals are expected. So right now it looks like this. Just this is in its own one single element. But if we go over here and do this, making it an array literal, now we've got it like this. Awesome. All right, so now that we've got that, we're going to map through and go to each element and do the same thing where we're going to say if this equals whatever the rest, all right? So we're going to use this map method, which creates a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array, all right? So for this one right here, every one of these x's is one of these elements, so it's going to be 1 times 2, 2, 2 times 4 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, 16 times 2 is 32, like that. For the syntax we're going to be using this third one right here with the element index and the array as our arguments. And then and this array refers to the array that we're mapping over, all right? And so we're going to come over here and we're going to say dot map, all right? And then we're going to have these three. We're going to have element, we're going to have index, and we're going to have array, all right? And so what we want to do is we want to see if this is equal to this, and whatnot, all right? So to do that, we're going to use the filter method to filter out every single one of each one of these elements instances, all right? So we're going to say array, and we're referring to this array right here, or this one right here, all right? Dot filter, all right? Now let me show you about the filter method up here. The filter method creates a shallow copy of a portion of a given array filtered down to just the elements from the given array that pass the test implemented by the provided function, all right? So basically, we're going to say something like, in this case, words.filter, words that have the length of greater than 6, all right? So it's just going to take out this one, and this one, all right? And so for the syntax we're just going to use this regular element on the arrow function syntax. So let's come over here and we're going to say filter, and since we already have element right here, we're going to do element 2, because you can't, because when it's inside of the thing, you can't reuse names like that. So we're going to say filter element 2, and we're going to say if element 2 equals element, all right? So it's going through the array and then seeing it goes, okay, first it goes to the H in this one, right? This is the H, and then it does a filter on the original array of this array right here and checks to see if there's any H. Let's test it out first. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And so there's an H here, and then all the L's are filtered out for this first L. So you see it says hello world vertically right there. And then it just filters out each one of these however many times. So all we have to do on this one, on this map, is do a dot length like this. Let's say dot length. Let's test that. No, excuse me. Let's see if that works. And then let's put it outside if it doesn't. Oh, it does. Look, awesome. And now that it's got pretty much all these numbers in it, we're going to use the join method, which creates and returns a new string by concatenating all the elements in an array separated by commas or a specified separator string. So since we just have to put join and then the separator string right there, we'll just say at the end of this, let me bring this down. Let's see, how would this look good? Let's bring this down. Oops. And, oops. All right, let's do that, and then let's come over here and say dot join, and then let's say SEP, so the separator right here, and test that out. And look, it looks just like that, all right? So let's take care of this console.log, get rid of it. All right, push test. There we go, and submit it. and attempt it. Looks good, and submit it. All right. And actually, I don't even think we needed either of these, either the element or no, we did need the element, but we didn't need the index. So here's basically what we did right here, except for with different syntax. Here's something where they did the split on the letters and then reduce and then whatnot. This one's basically doing a split and then a map and then another split and whatnot. And you can just check out the rest of them if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it. And we'll see you next time.